Yeah, finna get it. Watch me, finna get it, finna get it, finna get it now. Finna get it, watch me run it down. Finna get it, never backing out. Finna get it, yeah, I'm up and I'm out. Used to know me when I nothing in my pockets. Now they see me and they talking, always watching. I remember when you said I wouldn't make it. Now you mad because I took it, didn't fake it. Pressing every day, yeah, I was patient. Putting all that work, no hesitation. Now I'm getting everything I'm chasing. Look at me now, yeah, I'm elevation. Finna get it, finna get it, finna get it now. Finna get it, watch me run it down. Finna get it, never backing out. Finna get it, yeah, I'm up and I'm out. See me pulling up, they switching how they acting. Back then, you weren't here when I was lacking. Now you want a piece of what I'm stacking. But I remember everything that happened. Keep it moving, ain't no time for all that talking. I've been running to the bag, I'm never walking. They've been sleeping, I've been up until the morning. Now I'm winning and there ain't no way I'm falling. Finna get it, finna get it, finna get it now. Finna get it, watch me run it down. Finna get it, never backing out. Finna get it, yeah, I'm up and I'm out. Yeah, they doubted me, they did it. Now they proud of me. Now they are.
Hello, everybody. It's time for the Infinity G series again. It's round number 4, race day 2, races 3 and 4. Then for you, for us, for everyone today. And let's get rid of this thing here. I don't want to be that present on the stream. We say hello to Pyro again, who's joining me in the commentary booth. Evening.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to be here again. Had a lot of fun last week, so let's roll it back.
Yeah, this time just the two of us. So Thomas was doing comms with Pierre yesterday, so we don't have the expertise of the former World Tour driver champion, whatever, but he will be back probably at some point and in the booth as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed that stream last week. So good racing. Yeah, with those boxes, really interesting to see those tuned boxes as well. Yeah, so today a little bit of a different race, but nevertheless it should be really, really close. So what are we looking at today? We are going to Austria, to the Red Bull Ring, and we are running a lovely little sports car, that Mazda Spirit Racing Roadster, that special edition on that Mazda build. Yeah, fun little car to drive. So, fun fact, I also drive a Mazda X5. Basically the same car without the special edition, but yeah, so that's why
Right,
I'm pretty much hyped to see basically my car on the racetrack today. Yay!
right in your wheelhouse, then. That's what
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is going to be able to
definitely.
tell us how this rolls over every corner of Austria. That's what it's going to be.
That's it, yeah. But yeah, usually Mazdas are quite fun to drive the game, so lightweight car,
That's a
go-kart-esque with the handling and not too much power, but
extremely
enough.
nimble at the end of the day, isn't it? It's got one of those where it's just more shift how you can shift the momentum of the car instead of how much pace you can get along the straight line.
That's correct. Yeah. So let's have a quick look at the championship standings after round number 3. So we see like the 92 Esports team. They have built a nice little gap already. 118 points are sitting on top championship, and that's Tekka Racing in P with 104, and the Vanquish Esports team in P3 currently with 100 points. But then we see the gaps are getting closer and closer. So sitting in 4, Bulls Esport 5, and Customs GT currently 6. So those teams, they want to book their spot in the Golden Rockets later on in this championship. So for their racing and for the big money. So that's why the teams are aiming to secure that spot inside the top 6. But you see the gaps, it's still kind of close. And when I look at this standings, probably of the biggest surprise to me is that in P10 we have 3 sports. Probably one of the big contenders for the top 6. They're just outside. They're in P10. So,
Yeah, it's not been a season to remember for them so far, especially from what I know of them, and that's seemingly a lot at this point. But yeah, it's still 11 points, however, that split 5th in all of these spots and 10th in Dream Esports. So that's not a lot of points. That's a one bad race day waiting to happen. That's what that is.
Indeed, yeah, and I think with the tuning race and last week, so not everyone got their car into the correct specs, maybe, and then also like the way of how to drive those little cars also not suited everybody. So that's why it was probably one of the odd races during that season with tuning and those comfort tires or whatever we were running, like crazy things. So we're getting back to a little bit more standard
Normality, yeah.
racing today. It's like sports tires today for the race. So I can already tell you that. So sports softs and hards, probably the tires you will see throughout this race. So yeah, a bit more grip, but still not those sticky racing compounds on those Group 3, Group 4, whatever cars. But yeah, still a big challenge, of course, for the drivers in this series to conquer like all of those challenges in the cars and situations.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's just a twitchy car. Let's be honest, and the tires aren't going to much help it, especially when you get onto those sports hards. They're going to feel like concrete on the tarmac. That's what's going to happen, especially if they jump from the softs. So it's or vice versa. I mean, it's going to be a lot different. They're a lot different to drive sports soft and sports hards, and the car itself being a twitchy back end slide kind of car. you're gonna have to get up to speed very, very, very quickly. Otherwise, it's gonna come back to bite you.
That's correct, yeah. So yeah, yesterday we already had 2 races going on, and just bring up the results, then the provisional results, okay, the race results, and we already see that one of the big names in P12, the old Esports team, so they didn't have the best race yesterday. By the looks of, they will probably lose a couple of points and in the overall championship as well. But we see Vanquish Esports team, so they with the best finishing time overall, but they might be challenged today from the 92 Esports team again. So already saw in the YouTube chat they're one of the hot favorites for today. Score a really good combined finishing time. So as always, like in this series, so it's not like the individual driver that matters. It's both drivers, and you have to be like fast with both of your drivers. And then later on, you get lots of bonuses for whatever kind of things happen in the race, fastest laps, positions overall, clean race bonus, you name it. So it's good to score a fast finishing time, but you have to keep it clean as well. So that's what we want to see. But yeah, we will definitely see some changes to the championship standings after this round. But it's
At the end of the day, you're only as strong as your second driver, and you're only as strong as your weakest driver, I believe,
Yeah.
is the promise. So you've got to get both of them on the same page quickly. Got to get them both on the same page early and working together. Otherwise, you'll just plummet down the standings. And as we can see there, we were pointing out the 11-point gap. Owl's currently being in last. That 11-point gap is going to evaporate.
Yeah, pretty sure they might drop out of the top 6 then with that result. And who knows, yeah. Teams sitting behind them, Famous Esports, Alien Motorsports, Elite Racing Squad, Kraken Stains GT. So all of those teams are running in today's races, 3 and 4. So yeah, this could be interesting after this round. So looking forward to see the championship standings, of course, how it shakes things up. Let's get a little bit into the race today. So we have, like, for the first race, those 6 teams, like 92 Esports, the Deluxe team, we have Nexus, we have Kraken Stains GT, and also have it. The lights should be. Yeah, left sim racing. Sorry, it's the second race that we'll see where we have Sim 3, Alien Motorsports. There are the Thunder Lights, Customs GT, Avalon, and Control the Time. Your 12 teams for those 2 races, and that will follow very soon. And for the actual race preview and all the mighty details, I will quickly bring in Finlay, our lovely commentator friend. So he cannot do the commentary with us, but he provided us with some very, very nice detailed information, and so we'll run that.
Good evening. It is Tuesday. The second batch of races of round 4 at the 2026 InfinityGSeries are just about to get underway. My name's Finlay, one of the commentators for the English broadcast, struggling with exams at the moment, so I'm unable to join you. But as I'll be doing until I return from my exams, I'm going to be here each week giving you a bit of a brief insight into all the runners and riders across the races through the week. I covered the first 2 races yesterday outside. I'm now inside because shockingly it is raining in Scotland, and in a matter of minutes from the moment I was last recording, I've also changed shirts as well because it's a different day, you know what I mean. But the first race of the evening sees the championship leaders, 92 Esports, who sort of set the pace from the off. They had a 1-2 finish at Deep Forest Raceway with Ghost Baby, very fast Italian driver who was in the elite competition at GT Pulpy in October last year, ahead of another very quick driver who we all know is Ra Pessoa, who races in the Gran Turismo World Series. He started on pole position. but crucially they were only 4th in aggregate time, which allowed ours Esports to overtake them in the Drivers' Championship, despite them not having the 1-2 finish 92 did, because aggregate times mean a lot in the context of the standings. Then at Mount Panorama, it was a 2-3 finish. Pessoa this time ahead, Nicholas Fontana, another driver that was in the elite competition at Pulpy. They were only denied the win by a superb defensive masterclass from Gunzer, the Owls driver, in a battle that really meant a lot for the championship. Or so we thought, because Owls, as we said yesterday, had a horrible round at Lego Maggiore, and it was a 1-3 finish for 92 at the same circuit later on, with Samuel Moreno, the Spanish driver, winning on his first appearance of the season, with the former world champion Mateo Estevez finishing in 3rd, meaning 92 are the only team to have both cars on the podium all the way through the season. They are your deserved championship leaders, and whilst at the end of the regular season, whether you're 1st or 6th, it doesn't really matter. You've got a golden rocket spot. 92 would probably like to put a bit of a statement out to their rivals that they should be the championship favourites heading into the playoffs. They will likely be in the golden rocket split, barring an absolute disaster class rest of the season for them, so they'll be hoping to solidify their spot as the main championship favourites heading into the playoffs come the end of the season. Team 2 that we will cover is Deluxe Esports. They currently sit 6 points outside of the silver rocket spots. They've been consistent, but just unspectacular. They've not really delivered much. They did have their best finish of the season back at Maggiore last week, with Toto Coco finishing P4 in a really interesting battle ahead of one of the Visceral cars, actually. So they were fighting really high up, which is pleasing for them. But if you look at the rest of their race results, Deep Forest Raceway P5, P11, and Mount Panorama P7, P8, they've kept their noses clean. They've been very consistent, but they just need one standout, podium result, or getting both cars in the top half to sort of boost their hopes of racing outside the Bronze Rockets come regular season's end, because it's been just flat from them, you know what I mean? It's been good, but it hasn't been great, and they want to be great, Deluxe. They fought in the Pulpy finals last year. They were a very, very good team, and they'll want to be higher up than they are at the moment. And the final team in that sort of mini group is actually Nexus, who are one of the most unknown quantities heading into the start of the season. None of us in the commentary booth at the pre-qualifier, not even Flora Zimmerman, who's the team principal of Vanquish Esports, for crying out loud, had heard of them. And they're a team that are gradually improving as the season goes on. They netted 8 points in race 1, 9 in race 2, and 16 in race 3. So they are improving. They are still only 20th in the team's championship. Cacho had their best finish of the season with P8 at Maggiore, Pac-Man finishing P10. Then it was P9 and P11 at Mount Panorama, but both cars were caught up in instance. That race, it was a fairly chaotic split, that one. And then P9 and P12 at Deep Forest Raceway in what was the team's debut race in the Mach 25 ecosystem. They didn't really have much in the way of expectation heading into the start of the season, but Maggiore has shown that things are heading in the right direction for them. Maybe have a bit of momentum to build on to maybe push for a top half spot. That would be bold. Top half race finish at some point towards the end of the season. They will be racing Bronze Rockets racing in the playoffs. We're pretty certain of that. So they're just trying to build it up to maybe, get a bit more broadcast time. I think that's the right thing to say. Krakenstein's GT, a team that has really been, I hate to use the word carrying, but I'm going to use it. Manu Hernandez has been superb. Really fast young Spanish driver. He was actually in the title fight at Pulpy in the elite competition last year. Me and Flash Dagger were commentating on that. He was alongside Valerio Gallo, Jose Serrano, Antonio Santos, 3 of the best drivers in the world who we always see at the World Series. And it was him there as well. He fought right to the very end, just missed out on the title. But he has been superb this season. He's won 2 races, one at Deep Forest, one at Maggiore, and then the one he didn't win, he finished P3 behind a thrilling battle between one of the elite racing cars and one of the customs cars, which we'll get to in a moment when we cover elite racing. But the issue for Krakenstein hasn't been Manu, it's been the other driver. So Cueto had a qualifying mistake at Deep Forest. He started at back only and finished P9th, which was well below his expected pace. Cueto actually qualified for the elite competition at Pulpy last year as well. Jose Ito at Mount Panorama, he was caught up in incidents, finished P7 after being bumped off at the final corner by one of the EPLF cars. And then again, it was Cueto last week at Maggiore, and he was hit with a 9-second penalty and relegated to P10. So the team currently sit at P7, 5 points off of the Golden Rocket spot. And I think the thing to say is they'd be in a much better position, they'd be much higher up if their teammates stepped up to the plate in the way that Manu did. Even just, they haven't finished in the top half of the season. The best finish outside of Manu is P7. That needs to improve if they're going to qualify for the Golden Rockets, which is their end of season aim. Elite Racing Squad, very consistent, level-headed Polish outfit. They've been capable of peaks throughout the season. They also currently occupy P8, one position behind Kraken Stains, who we just covered, and 2 outside of the Golden Rocket spots. Those are the 2 teams that have won races this season but don't currently occupy a Golden Rocket spot. Their undoubted highlight was Nixo's last lap pass on Chaos for the race win at Mount Panorama, with Bezzy over the line in P4. The rest of their results this season haven't exactly been highlight reel. They've been there, they've been consistent. P4 and P6 at Deep Forest, and then P6 and P7 at Lego Maggiore. They haven't been in a scrap for minimal points. They haven't been in a basement battle, but it's not exactly been highlight reel, as I say. It's not been the most thrilling season to be an Elite Racing Squad fan. They're an established upper midfield team for sure. They will be competing in Silver Rockets, you'd think, at least at the end of the season. But they need more moments of magic, like at Mount Panorama, to bridge the gap between a genuine title threat like they envision being at the end of the season. And then the final team in this race, EPLF Sim Racing. It's been a confusing, befuddling season for them. They currently sit bottom of the standings in 24th. Deep Forest Raceway, they were 11th and 12th, well off the pace. We'll sort of gloss over that. They came over the line P5 and P9 at Mount Panorama, a shock result with the alternate strategy utilised, but they were scrappy. Penalties for both drivers, and they ended up being relegated to P10 and P11. If you get a penalty in this series, you're going to be in a basement position, and you don't want that. So the main aim of the game is to keep your nose clean in this particular series. I think that's something we need to mention here. And then at Maggiore, I was on the commentary booth for their race, and they were doing all sorts of, pre-race driver swaps. I have no idea what they were doing, but it resulted in a P11 and P12 finish, meaning EPLF are yet to break out of a top 10 position all season. They did show pace at Mount Panorama, but their failure to keep the nose clean is costing them major points, and they sit even behind Jokers, who didn't even race at Maggiore. They scored no points last round, and yet EPLF is still behind them, so that just shows how much concern is there for them. That's race 1 covered. I'll be back for race 2, but enjoy the race. I'll hand you back over to your commentary team now. Goodbye.
Thank you, Finlay, for that one. Couldn't have said it any better. We are into the qualifying already, so let's get directly into this one in here. So
everyone getting out onto the track now then.
as always, we have the 12 drivers, 2 for each team, and they will be doing 3 quarters of an outlap, and then they will stop in the famous parking lot around the track, and then it will be the one-shot quali format again. Both drivers from every team, they will run their laps. They have to go into pit lane, refuel, and then they can go out, do their actual outlap, and then their flying lap. And here we go. Exactly. So we can have a look at the car designs here as well for our team. So Kraken Stains this time with a bit more white in it, if I'm not mistaken. It was a little bit darker last time around. So yeah, white seems to be a nice color on this car. See EPLF also using white on it.
I want to also bring up, just aside from the livery talk we got going on right now, but in practice, we did see a 46.6 in the practice itself, everyone coming up to park in the at the end of turn 9 here. But if that can be replicated, isn't that the fastest time we see on the week? If there's someone can replicate that 46.6.
That's roughly the lap times for pole position during the race as well. So mid 46s could be something. But then again, the one-shot quali format, like it's like, how much do you actually risk on that one flying lap you really have? And it's like we have the first team called to go.
I quite frankly, if I'm in this position, one-shot qualifying, you really just got to leave it out all out on the track, haven't you? Some people like being safe, but the idea of being safe to me in this scenario with this kind of level doesn't really sit well. You either go for it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That will happen. It's racing. Sometimes you pull it off. Sometimes it just doesn't go well in the slightest. But
Yeah.
I feel like leaving something on the track, not putting your best in, is probably worse.
It is, and we haven't really touched on the track. The Red Bull ring, aka the penalty ring, here as well. So easy to get those track limits here. Turn 1, turn 9, 10, you name them. So it's also something to consider. Probably.
Bit in 8 as well, actually. When you look on the track at the end, at the beginning of the third sector, there you get the slight right-hand turn before the gravel, and if you go too deep there, that can also rough the half-second. So there's a lot of parts of this track where if you go wrong, it's over. But I still don't like the idea of not letting it out. If you make the mistake, you make the mistake at the end of the day. Maybe that's just commentators kind of thinking, eh? But I am not a fan of leaving something out there.
You have to aim high, definitely. At least if you're like one of the really top teams competing for the Golden Rockets later on. So I think with that race, it's probably not that easy to go for moves. So a good starting position is very crucial. And here we go.
That is true.
Right. Come around the final turn. They start their flying lap. They're okay, I think, with the gap. So Flower behind. He should get a little bit of a slipstream. We go on board. My favorite thing to do.
I think Seiko just about survived with that penalty there as well in the final corner. Played it a little bit hard and fast. With the exit curbs, looks like they both took turn 1 in a fairly safe manner. Not looking.
Nope.
Never mind.
Has a penalty.
Never mind. What do I know? Apparently, that's the half-second for Martin. That's not a good sign.
It looked safe, but it wasn't.
Looked safe, but apparently when you go off the track, go off the screen, you go off the track as well. Who would have knew? Both the Nexus drivers got through turn 1 unscathed, and Deluxe about to do the same. That didn't look too great from Toto. We'll see if he gets picked up for that. He does. Toto Coco got picked up half-second, and it looked like it was well four over. That's never good. That's a fairly justified penalty, I think.
The good thing is here with this track, so you don't lose that much time during the penalty zone, and your lap won't get invalidated at all with that.
Not unless
thing
you manage to pick him up. Yeah, not unless you manage to pick up on turn 9, turn 10 area, I guess.
True,
That's after the serve. But, yeah. It's still one-shot qualifying. Getting a penalty is probably not the ideal way of going around the track. I'll say that much. Here we go. Seiko going through the edge of turn 9.
Martin as well. Huh? Was it okay?
Right, so
no, we got another 1 second. Oh no, that's what you meant. Yeah, so that lap time is invalidated. So
off the board straight away. Martin at the back of the grid then for now. So 1:47.7 is not a particularly great time either. It is still quicker than Pac-Man and Rope. So I don't really know what we're looking at here, because I thought we were going to look toward the low 47 mark, but 47.7 seems to be the current benchmark. Toto served his half-second. He's now behind Lassetti. We watched 10. Didn't look clean at all from Lassetti through 10, all the way to the line now. Another half-second penalty for Toto, and his lap is invalidated.
Crazy, come on, people. I mean, yeah. So 2 drivers with a penalty crossing the line. So,
oh God, that's an awful situation to be in. I think he actually starts behind Martin because he ended his lap afterwards.
Yep.
So that's going to be a bit harsher on top of that, I guess.
I mean, yeah. it's really tough on those drivers, and it's not like something you want to see, but it was like, yeah, from my experience, it's always like a risk here at the Red Bull Ring to pick up those penalties, and also this car is not like that wide, so you can easily misjudge. Maybe they're running a bit too wide over the track limits as well. So yeah, but brutal, the qualifying. So let's see what the next 6 drivers, 3 teams can do. ERS is on track with their 2 main drivers for this series, Nixo and Bazzi.
So this is going to be interesting. So we know Elite and we know Kraken are the 2 teams essentially trying to hunt down Owls, because Owls had had the bad week yesterday. So we know that they're going to be coming into this with an expectation now. With expectation comes pressure. And we've already seen it happen with a couple of drivers on the grid so far today, but pressure usually means mistakes. We'll see how they can balance that pressure on this qualifying lap. I'm looking forward to seeing how they go about it.
Yeah.
Team in 8th right now, right? Kraken in 7th, I believe.
The standings.
Yeah, the overall standings.
Kraken stands P7. Yeah.
So those 2 are the 2 that just outside their Golden Rocket League. It's just seeing whether or not they can get themselves into a position to take advantage. So that's what they're looking at here, just to try and pick the bones of the teams in front of them. Well, so we know the fastest lap on the track right now, the 47.7, and I can imagine, by all accounts, that's not going to stand till the end of the session.
Most likely not, yeah, totally agree.
I would be very, very surprised. Something would have gone very, very wrong for 47.7 to remain pole position.
Yeah, let's see. Turn 1. So this probably sets already the tone for your lap.
Nixo didn't look too good there in the slightest.
Yeah.
You're going to get picked up for that.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't look like he's safe. He's safe.
I think it was just okay. So you can run wide when you're basically halfway past the length of that yellow sausage, so you can extend it later on, but if you go wide early, then you pick up the penalty. But that's probably just okay. So the 2 ERS drivers close on that lap. That looks good as a team for now, and they should be able to get visual P1 and P2 with this lap. Yeah.
You would like to think so. We've seen crazy things happen. Don't forget there's still 3 turns on this lap that are very heavily penalty zoned. So it's not like they're out unscathed yet. We've already seen it claim 2 drivers today. That was a little bit wide again from Nixo, but still should be within the realms. As I say, within the realms of okay in terms of the penalties. Same goes to turn 8, Nixo toward the final couple of corners. Now this is going to be make or break, because now if you get a penalty from here, that is the lap over and done with.
Yeah.
It looked like they both navigated 9 pretty well. A little bit of a dodgy exit there for Bezzy through turn 10 as they head to the line. It's both safe. It's a 47.1 and a 47.2 for the ERS drivers.
Our drivers on track. Here we go. Manu and Josito come around the final turn. They are hot favorites for a front row start, and it's 46.5 for Manu. Whoa, here we go.
What a time that is!
But don't you just praise the day. It's still Moreno and the Ghost Baby, 2 of the really fast drivers.
That's going to go a long way, though, to try and catch that up.
46. No, it's a 47.5. Oh. Surprise, Ghost
looked
Baby.
Like Kraken. Yeah, Kraken won too.
Kraken 1-2, yep. Manu and Rosito. So when that 46.5, that's a blistering time.
Yeah, that's good luck beating that. That's all I'm going to say to that time. And good luck beating Manu if he could actually get anywhere near that in a race situation as well, because, wow. I think that's about 3/10 quicker than what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, nice one.
Just to put it into perspective.
So, right, so then we wait. So this we have 2 minutes and probably a little bit of an overrun as well. So we can talk a little bit about this kind of tricky qualifying session. So those warm-up
Yeah.
lap times you have seen. So just one driver probably into that 46s. So yeah,
I was about to say that 46, that was a quicker lap time than we saw in practice.
okay.
And you know how we were making the point with one-shot qualifying usually brings more pressure and more mistakes. Not if you're Manu. Apparently, that's apparently one person exempt from pressure. Yeah, he did a 46.6, I think, was the fastest lap I saw in the practice session. So yeah, that's a blistering lap.
Yeah, we had yesterday Mew of 46.8 fastest lap on the Monday.
Yeah, so roughly
yeah,
about 3/10 quicker then.
exactly 46.8 during the race as well from Brea. So that sets the tone, I think, today, Manu.
Yeah.
With a 0.5. And as Finlay mentioned in his preview to the race as well, so Dragon Stain, so Manu is really carrying the team so far, but the teammates so far a little bit of bad luck about these races. So can they capitalize on a 1-2 start today and have a clean race, a fast finishing time, and then score some big points and move into the top 6? So this is probably a really good opportunity.
It's about as glorious of an opportunity as they're going to get, to be completely honest with you. They've set themselves up in a really good place to score as many points as they can, bearing in mind it's both taken with both drivers' times. So they're in as good a position as they could have hoped for off the start of that qualifying session.
And as Mr. F says in the chat, the 92 Esports team, so they have right now P3 with the Ghost Baby, but Summer Moreno just in P6, so they were finishing on the podium on every round so far, according to Finlay. First, so can they keep that streak alive? Find out. Oh, hello.
Right. No, that's not sorted. Sorry about that. That was not
Dream
planned.
snipers, come on.
That was not planned. I have no idea why that happened. Yeah, I apologize for that. But yeah, it's the teamwork's going to be a little bit different today, isn't it? Because now we've got ERS splitting both the 92 Esports drivers and Kraken out front, and two teams that know that Owls didn't do well, so two teams that know that they need to do well because they've got to split that script just a little bit.
It's true, and also in P4, P5, ERS, so they're like close together already, the two teammates. So we heard in chat yesterday, Brea had a mighty comeback drive, so overtaking is possible, but probably not
A lot more difficult.
Yeah. So let's see the graphics and see that 46.544 on that one-shot quali for Kraken Stains and Manu. His teammate Ito in P2 for that 92 Esports, the Ghost Baby third position, followed by the two ERS drivers, Nixo and Bazzi. Then we have Samuel Moreno, P6, he dominated round 3. What's possible for him? Probably also one of the quickest individual drivers in the series. And mixed row with EPLF and Deluxe in 7th and 8th, and then on that second page, so yeah, we see lap times here, 50s, 55s. Those are basically the invalidated lap times. See from the other EPLF and team drivers, and the Nexus team in P9 10.
There's gonna be a few though that wish they could have that lap back. It's probably the nicest way of putting that, and I think obviously we saw Toto and Martin both invalidate their laps, so they don't really have anything to go off at all. But yeah, Nexus both in the 48s, Lassetti, you're doing a 48 here. You're wishing you could do it again, because that's not a time you want to see.
We're heading into the race now. Good luck, everybody. Let's go full screen. And 15 laps. The hard tire compound is mandatory for 5 laps minimum.
That's going to be fairly interesting then, isn't it? To see how the strategy just starts to play out. If they have to do a set on that tire for 5 or more laps, and it's going to be varied. Here we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights. It lights out and away we go. It didn't look like a great start for those guys out of the back of Kraken there at all. Not sure if anyone was paying attention to the lights out.
Maybe it bugged down a little bit. So quick info, everyone is starting on the soft tire compound.
Go through the first couple of corners. It looked like everyone got through safely. Moreno's already got one place off of Bezzi, so up into the top 5 now for the Spanish driver for the 92 Esports team, looking to size up Nick. So if he can into turn 3, doesn't look like he's going to go for the move either way. Bezzi getting overtaken potentially by Seiko on the outside, but doesn't really materialize. So Bezzi will hold himself in 6th for now, but the gap is starting to open up.
Already, yeah. With that little contact into turn number 3, it's 6, 7, 10th now already. And yeah, Bezzi lost that position to Moreno, is already under pressure from Seiko. Not the start he envisioned, of course.
Yeah, and we got a little bit of fighting in the back as well. Martin's at the back. Robo has just been overtaken by Toto, who's got himself up into 10th already with Pac-Man and Pac-Man sliding his way through turn 7. But let's say even further.
Fight!
Oh, all the way into the gravel. Just well to hold that and gets a penalty for good measure. So does Toto. So Deluxe had an awful turn there.
Yeah.
That'll drop him all the way potentially back to the back of the grid. Depending on how well Martin can do this next lap.
Yeah, they have to wait for the next lap to serve the penalty. So maybe they can close the gap, but it's already 1.3 seconds, 7 to P8, so it will be tough. And we have 2 groups then probably already this race. Back to the front.
Split in the top 7 and then everyone else in 8th backwards. So a little bit jumpy heading through the first turn. Moreno was the one that was going to highlight there, but it looked like he got his car back under control fairly quickly. A slight gap opening up behind him to Bezzi and Seiko, but not really doing too much about it. We go through to turn 3 up the hill now, and again Moreno just looks a little bit on and off. Again, it's a perfect illustration of the exit of the corner there of what I was talking about. It doesn't look confidence inspiring right now for 92 Esports. I'll say that much.
Looks like Moreno is looking racy now. No, it doesn't go for the move. Bezzi late, half defensive, half offensive. So, but yeah, just had a quick look. Oh, another half-second penalty just appeared somewhere. One of the drivers, the tire wear multiplier is 23, by the way. So that's why we already see a little bit of wear on those sport soft tires. So how long will they last? 7, 8, 9 laps? That's the predictions for those soft tires.
Yeah, a slightly earlier window than potentially just going a 10 lap, 5 lap then. So it might actually involve a little bit of tire wear saving and a little bit of strategy will come out of that then. But for now, Kraken haven't really been put under any threat whatsoever, and it looked like Bezzi in the background was not enjoying the exit turn 10. Now, I was about to say that. He was not enjoying the exit of turn 10 in the slightest, and has been punished as a result of it. Lassetti's picked up another half-second, by the way, after serving on the last lap. Which seemed like Deluxe are not having a fun time around this track through the opening 3 laps of this race. But they are still ahead of both Nexus drivers, and Martin is trying to get himself back involved, but hasn't really found himself in this race at all yet.
A good spot already. Moreno is short shifting quite heavily, so you also might be having to fuel save a little bit in this race.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't think that would be necessarily a feature of the race itself, but it is looking like they're about to head to about 3/4 of a tank, and it is only lap 3, so you might be on that kind of ledge on how much you can get. Maybe an entire race worth for trying to limit how much you have to fuel up later on. Bezzy's about to serve his penalty then, so he's currently half a second purple, but he's about to lose that entire half a second purple and potentially the position of Seko as well. As we go,
stay in that group still with that penalty.
Here we go. Is he going to get overtaken?
Yep.
Seko moves to the inside. Does get it done, albeit not by an awful lot.
What's the
And
gap
it should-
now? 6/10 between P5 and P6, so this is still okay. And for the top 7 to stay in that group. But who's like our tire whisperer and fuel magician? Let's have a quick look.
Can't tell. One thing's for certain. I don't think Seko's doing too well on his tires because I'm looking up and down, and I think he's the one that drops off.
First penalty for Josito on P2, half a second. So that close group, he might be losing 2 positions.
He might be losing a little bit more. He might lose a little bit more than that with how close everyone is. It's half a second to P5. Never mind just the half a second penalty. He's gonna have to put in a little bit of a shift here on the second part of this lap, which he has done already. Opened half a second gap to
Here
Ghost
comes
Baby.
Moreno.
Straight away, here we go.
And Ghost Baby giving him a little bit
Gonna
of
help
slip. Yeah. Into the braking zone. Turn number 4 downhill. Easy overtake. So, InfinityGSeries 3-4 now.
It's good teamwork. It was. Ghost Baby realized that Moreno would need a little bit of help to get the move completed because he was alongside, but he wasn't really pulling. So that was a good bit of teamwork to get themselves up in a 3rd and 4th, knowing that now Josito is going to have to serve the half-second penalty. He's going to lose at least 1 position. He should probably lose out to both 92 drivers here.
Probably, yeah.
Here we go. Ghost Baby goes by. Moreno goes by. Will Nixo go by? Nixo will go by.
3 positions
He's lost
lost.
3.
Oh.
That's going to do a little bit of damage.
Definitely not in the ideal position now. So Manu still leading. That's good for the team. Now 1-5. And yeah, so
It's
avoid
just
the
going to be a
penalties,
damage.
right?
Yeah, that's it. It's just going to be damage on the overall lap, overall race time, though, isn't it? If you make that mistake, you drop
True.
3 positions, and now you've got to be in that train.
Yeah, the good thing is still running with that group, and probably also can do a little bit of fuel saving there. So it's still okay, and it will come down to the last 2 laps maybe, where we actually see some more fighting going on. But now it's optimizing the overall race time.
Yeah, and it's also this entire race is going to come down to who goes onto the hard tires and responds the best. Realistically, they're all on the softs right now. They're all doing effectively the same thing, going through the same lines, trying to do the same kind of fuel shifting in terms of the gears, and just surviving right now. And then they'll get onto the hards, and that'll be where the bit of discrepancy between these drivers are going to show a little bit more.
That's to be expected, yeah. And I know in the stream chat, so what is the delta between the hard and the soft tires? What can we expect? Up to 2 seconds, maybe?
I would about to say somewhere in the region of about 2 seconds would have been my guess. Albeit they're all going to be on the same tire roughly the same time, so it's just going to be holding each other accountable for each other's mistakes at this point. Yeah, it's going to be a rough about 2 seconds slower lap, I reckon.
But those softs also with the wear on them. About 4 seconds, Flores mentions. What?
Wow.
Wow.
No, how?
That's crazy.
I know it may have been a little bit more than what you would expect racing tires in the incremental increase where you see on the racing tires. 4 seconds is absurd. Because then that would imply that mediums would have been around about 2 seconds slower, which would surely not.
Yeah, so it's just all sport tire compounds are available, and the hards have to be used for a minimum of 5 laps. So it's the decision then go for mediums and run minimum 5 hards, or everyone went for softs and then run maybe 6, 7, 8 laps on those hards later on. So
Well, if the tire delta is multiple seconds, then there's no real choice here, is there?
Yep. Yeah, also like doing a pit stop in between, I don't know, just 1 lap on the hards. Oh, you have to do 5. No, I forget about it. I was just thinking out loud. Forgot about the rules. Yeah,
That's insane, to be honest with you. The fact that 4 seconds just does not sound right. But
mediums are not available. Okay, so then
half-second penalty for Moreno. Just to bring it back.
Next
Half a
lap,
second
no.
penalty to Moreno. And Nixo and Josito, well, Josito might get a little bit of a reprieve getting a place back then. If he can do this next lap well enough to hang with the 92 drivers and with Nixo as well.
Would we see a team play now? Moreno getting past his teammate Ghost Baby to maybe secure that P2, P3.
It could be interesting to see whether or not they do pull the trigger on that, because at the same time, Ghost Baby is right on the back of Manu. So you're essentially asking Ghost Baby here to sacrifice a shot at leading, to switch the order, just so the order then can be switched back. It's going to be an overall time loss for both drivers if you do that. But at the same time, if you don't do that, Moreno's dropping multiple positions. So you got to weigh up the positives and the negatives to that situation.
So they stay in line for now, and this could probably still hurt Moreno, and losing their position too. Ixo and Rosito. Yeah, it's so close. Top 5.
Yeah. He's guaranteed to lose those 2 positions. At the absolute least. To be honest with you, even if they switched it over and put Moreno into second, I don't even think Moreno would actually survive those 3 positions in that regard anyway. So it might be a lost cause.
Slowing down the others a little bit and to give a bit more gap. I don't know, just theoretical ideas.
Either way,
serving the penalty, and it's down to P5 for Moreno. It's expected.
It brings Seiko back into it as well. It brings Seiko and Bezzi into it. Those 2 had been dropped off just a little bit, but now you can see with Moreno's half-second penalty, they've just been brought right back into the fold. And all of a sudden, we're now in a 7-man train.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds separating the top 7. And we have 1.4 to P8, so I think after a bit of a shaky start, Deluxe with Toto Coco, and now a good rhythm. The tires are not looking good.
No, they are not. They are 1 or 2 laps away from, death. A puncture on that back left. It's the back left that keeps going on all the cars a little bit quicker than the fronts are.
And I, of course, Toto, sorry, he's running with a half-second penalty now as soon as I mentioned he had a good run. Yeah, that's how it goes usually. Sorry. It's the nature of commentating.
Oh yeah, commentators' curses are very much a real phenomenon, and nobody's going to convince me otherwise. Also, Moreno's got past Josito again, up in the 4th. So, 92... only losing the 1 position off the penalty in the end. Moreno just slightly working his way back. Nixo, the next one in line for a potential move from Moreno. if Moreno can get back into that top 5, that top 3, sorry, and kind of eliminate the damage from that penalty, that would be extremely well worked.
He definitely has to run.
He's going to go for it. He's going to go for this. He's gone for it to the inside. Almost got his own teammate, but he gets it done. Oh,
a bit wide.
Oh, we got someone spinning into the pit lane. I think we had someone spin into the pit lane there.
Okay, mark it. So we have to go to the replay later. That's
his tires were completely dead on lap 8.
Yeah, and Moreno picked up a half-second penalty. He couldn't hold that line between turn 9 and 10, so ran a little bit too wide on the exit. Half-second penalty again.
Wow, that was just carnage. Obviously, Moreno tried to make a move, got it done, then made the mistake and went too wide, almost avoiding his teammate. And then Seiko in the background just forgot his goal.
Into turn 3, Nixo on the inside. No, it's getting
Zito's going to go for it.
Yeah, that's...
Look at that.
Oh, let's see. Zito with the run.
Oh, to the inside. Could he go for double? He might go for 2. It's going to be close.
Side contact again.
Oh, Moreno on
the inside now, but he has to serve the penalty. But will he make it 3 wide into turn 5? No.
Oh, Zito switch back.
He went in front.
Jesus Christ.
Wow, how?
What is going on? Zito is still there.
Yeah.
Nixo's still trying to defend. And I think Zito might actually have the advantage for once. He does.
All on dead tires.
Jesus, that was all over the place. Nobody's got tires left, and all of them are about to make pit stops.
Pretty sure.
Moreno just served his penalty, so there's another 2 places dropped for Moreno, who's now trying to survive on the inside here. 1 into the pit, 2, everybody into the pits. I don't know if anyone cut the line there.
It looked close on the entry line. Maybe someone caught it. And
might have been Nixo, if they had. So we'll have a look. I'm just going to put the entirety of lap 9 down on the to go on the replay. I think that entire...
lap 9, yeah, definitely something to have a look later. So I think those are the last drivers that pitted. We see the drivers further back. They went for the earlier pit stop.
Undercut potentially.
Undercut.
The problem is if it's 4 different, if it's 4 seconds different on the hard, it's not going to be much of an undercut. That's a certain. Let's have a look. Toto is. Everyone's coming out the pits now, so everyone is literally inside of each other.
Zito up to P2. And yeah, they're inside of each other. Yeah.
They're all just. This is going to be fun. Look at Moreno, and I think that's the Moreno and Nixo for 5th and 6th. They literally have not left each other's car yet. They are still inside of each other, heading all the way through 3, and they are finally unghosted.
Not yet, still ghosting.
Inside.
Messi got punted.
Everywhere. Manu's off the track.
Yeah, and the ghost baby up into P1.
And we mark lap 10. We're gonna need literally forever to do this replay.
That's it, yeah, with the ghosting and not sure. Manu lost definitely out completely P1 to P6.
I can imagine he's probably not the happiest person in the world right now. Also, ERS are going after each other, Nixo and Bezzy. Just trying to defend for Manu as well. Who's got to the inside? He got one of them, or has he?
Yeah, he's got past Bezzy. I think he has the inside line. Yep.
Yeah, moved on.
It's still close. I mean, look at the gaps. So 1.5 between the top 6. So it's
well, we know Manu is currently Manu's the fastest guy on track from qualifying. So he's now in a position where he gets to put that pace on display a little bit. Doesn't have to manage anymore, so he just has to go at it. So he's now going to put that pace that he showed in qualifying to the test to see how many places he can recover.
Also, one thing I've noticed, so with the information from yesterday, the fastest lap of the race was a 46.8. We are currently looking at a 47.5. So is this a bit of a slower split then? I don't know.
I don't know, but Ghost Baby just made an absolute horror of turn 1, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
will allow for Zito with a run. And that is what happens when you Tokyo drift your way through turn 1 instead of taking it like a normal car. That's the answer to that one. Moreno's had to move out the way to try and get himself out the potential move from his own teammate. And Nixo also trying to get involved but can't really do anything about it. Manu has now got himself onto the back of the RS driver. Is there a move incoming? He's going to pull to the outside totally.
Just to commit to the outside line now. It's doable. But we also
He
have
might
to
have just
remember...
committed a bit too much.
Yeah. And yeah, it's the hard tire compound, so definitely not as much grip as on those sports soft tires. And a half-second penalty for Moreno. No way.
The carnage hasn't stopped yet, apparently. Moreno's going to set that on this lap as well. The real question is, how many is he going to lose? If Manu could get a couple of corners right here, he might lose 3 positions here, Moreno.
Yep. And he has to
We'll get
serve
to
it
see it.
now.
Now, he served it now. Nixo has gone past. Has Manu. Manu has gone by. Bezzi unable to get the move done.
And yeah, cars are sliding everywhere. Still, probably, yeah, the grip levels very different, and that's probably why we have a roughly 4-second difference between the softs and the hards.
They're not wrong. 51's on the last lap from the 47's on the softs. It actually is a 4-second difference. Wow. Okay. It still surprises me when I see that, to be completely honest with you. I did not think it would actually be that drastic.
Yeah, well, it's bunching up again into turn number 3. So watch out, Ghost Baby on the inside. Can he brake late? Can he hold that apex? He is on the inside.
Manu making a move as well. Jesus. And he goes to the inside.
Yeah,
I think he
what a
made a
move.
bit of contact from Nixo. We've got contact and moves left, right, and centre at the front of this grid.
Moreno following. Manu on the inside. So Nixo, he loses 2 positions maybe between turns 3 and 4. Yeah, he's on the outside now. So
Gravel almost killed off by his own teammate and picks up half a second.
how unlucky can you get? Yes. No.
He
Not
got
the
his
lap.
that was his own teammate that did that, I think.
Yeah, not the lap for Nixo definitely here. So he was really looking good, and also Chat mentioned ERS with a good race. And yeah,
Manu made a mistake. Manu made a mistake in turn 7, and Moreno's going to punish him for it. Moreno
Ghost
up
Baby on the
into
inside. Turn 9 to 10. He has the advantage. Rosito going very wide, deep.
Zito just about kept that penalty free.
Yeah, I think he held it.
So apparently Carnage hasn't finished yet. Moreno is flying up the grid on the hard tires and is about to make Zito's life a little bit more difficult here. Or is it
Move on the
going
inside.
into turn 1? Never mind.
Side by side through turn number 1. No way.
Ghost Baby so far off the track. He's in a different postcode.
Yeah.
Zito's let them both through. Moreno's taking the lead of the race. And it's a second penalty for Ghost Baby.
And Manu and Rosito, they are bump drafting each other, trying to get into a good position. Rosito on the inside of Ghost Baby into P2 again for turn number 3. No, Ghost Baby around the outside, cannot hold it. What a run for Gran Stains on this lap. They move up the order.
Oh, and that contact there from Ghost Baby who just turned straight into Manu. Couldn't do anything there.
Also, Moreno has to go defensive. It's kicking off. Wow.
It is all kicking off now. Here we go. Ghost Baby obviously will have to serve a penalty halfway through this lap. It doesn't matter anyway, because Manu's not even going to let him try to hold the position until then. Manu has got himself alongside. Is there a move incoming? It's Carnage left, right, and centre. Still side by side as they head through into the end of the second sector. Ghost Baby will hang on. Moreno just about hangs on to the track as well. He just had a 0.3 of a second advantage. Zito's just going to be living a calm life for a little while now then, if he, apart from attacking Moreno. Ghost Baby's going to drop all the way to 6th, and potentially then some. It might actually just drop the entire way off the back of them as well.
Yeah, nearly 8/10 behind.
The next 2 corners are going to be massive. I
Yeah.
think Azito's got to run. Azito's got to run! Moreno came across to cover that off for a second then.
Forcing him very tight into turn number 1. He's going back to the racing line. And he's feeling confident that he can stay in the lead. Clean run through turn 1. A bit of sideways action going on over the sausage curb, but I think everyone survived this time without getting a penalty. But yeah, the run into the braking zones.
This is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting.
Bezzy
It looks like
Benny,
Benny, I was about to say, Benny getting himself involved. Manu's just setting it on his own teammate. And Azito's lost out on 2 positions because Manu just set it on him.
Oh, he got a different line.
Yeah, he survived against Bezzy. And his teammate almost cost him dearly then.
Yeah, but everyone with the run now. We're going very defensive. Manu to P2 gets a little bump from his teammate. Doesn't really help midway through the turn. But and it's still 1.5 laps to go. So don't go anywhere. Don't blink.
Azito made a little bit of an error there. They headed into the end of the 2nd sector. Gives Manu a little bit of breathing room, but I think Moreno may have just made an even worse mistake. A little bit of sideways movement in the end of the 2nd sector. Manu not able to take advantage of it yet. The snapping is very much real right now, as Manu will get himself alongside, potentially taking the race in line into the 2nd to last corner. Moreno just about surviving.
Yeah. And coming around turn number 10 for the penultimate time, and then we start the final lap of this race. Man, time flies if you're having fun, right?
I was about to say, yeah, Moreno's probably not. Moreno's wishing that time went a little bit quicker right now as well, because he is under fire from Manu in the end of the, well, in the beginning of the final lap. If he can get a little bit of help from Azito here, then Moreno will be under some serious pressure heading into the final couple of corners. Moreno's been taking a very different line over the last couple of laps, and it's coming again. That different line. Is he going to send it to the inside? Is Manu? He has! And contact left, right, and centre. Manu's the wrong way. Manu is still trying to fix his car, and he's dropped to 6th.
Yeah.
And that is contact from about 5 or 6 different people.
And half-second penalty for Moreno. So look at ERS now. They're in a very good position to score really good points.
I have a funny feeling the overall time of this race is going to be substantially slower than anything we've seen so far at the front of the grid anyway. With the amount of absolute carnage, the changes for the lead, everyone has literally hated each other in this one race. Some bad blood that we apparently did not get rid of before this. Azito's just trying to get himself involved, trying to beat Nixo now, and they go into the final sector for the final time of what has been a complete carnage of a race.
Massive run for Moreno, yeah. He might be able to stay in front.
Nixo's got a half second as well. Nixo's got a half second.
He's on the inside,
oh
Moreno on the outside.
He's on the inside and Corbin
no, he's not he was wide all the way.
Azito's taken the lead, but it's up.
No, it's so coming. No, it's wow, scenes everywhere. What's going on? Who wins this race? I don't know. What happened? What happened?
I don't know. Everything and nothing happened at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Azito won. I'm not sure. And I really would not like being a steward right about now.
No. So many things happening at the same time. Oh my gosh.
I don't know who's running things, but we might need a little bit of an extended time to go through the replay of whatever the hell that was.
Yep. We definitely do.
We might be here for a while. I apologize in advance. I can't imagine why Jose leaving the lobby. This is just a thousand different things happened there in 2 turns, and I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure those results won't stay for the final results, but
What gives you that idea?
yeah. So just get a little bit of an idea. It's like 8 seconds slower, the fastest individual finishing time compared to yesterday's
And they all have
28:04.
multiple penalties coming.
Yep. So that's.
You know how we said that they might be trying to take advantage of Owl's bad day at the office yesterday? That went by the wayside very quickly.
It did, yeah.
I'm just trying to get the replay up.
Yep.
We might be here. The real question is, do we want to start on lap 8 where the carnage actually started, or do we want to just go straight to the end to try and figure out what on earth just unfolded?
Probably would be most interesting to see the last couple of quarters, right? But so let's see if
Let's go right to the end then.
get into this replay.
We are on lap 14 right now, so we will skip forward just a little bit onto the final lap, and we will go on board with Servi at the back, because I think he might actually be our best camera angle. The back here to start with. This is Ghost Baby. For those who are unaware, there's a little bit of difference in the names. It looks like oh yeah, there was contact out front with Manu.
Yeah,
more contact. We'll get a little bit of a better, go a little bit further forward, see if we can get a better angle of that. Go.
It's like Manu initiated that little contact with Moreno, so tapped the rear and then got out of shape. Good catch though, to not lose that car, but lost all the time.
That's a half second.
That's a half second for Moreno there, because he was a little bit too deep probably, and yeah.
He got the contact pushed him over the white line and the exit of 3. That's why he got the half-second penalty. Then we're not done, because obviously we had these two going at it, and then there was a little bit of contact there from Ghost Baby on the back of I think that's Brezzi and the Polish driver there in 4th. Then we go through, and we're just gonna let this roll, purely because this is just gonna be carnage. There's more. Hold on, but there's more contact here as well. That we just completely missed. Here we the inside with Fazito.
Maybe where Nixo picks up a penalty.
Oh, there was. There was a little bit of contact there between Nixo and Fazito. I think Nixo's penalty comes here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Far too wide.
That's the penalty.
Far too wide. But that's not what we're going to look at here, because here comes absolute just nonsense. All right, we're going to go here. Well, I'm going to pause this here, because this is the first incident. Where are you particularly planning on going here, Nixo?
Was desperate to just get in front, right, and braking very late.
So there's the first hit. These 3 still going on. Manu is still here. So Moreno has lost the car. Moreno is a way out here now.
Yeah, we come back to Moreno a bit later when he's trying to track.
Yeah, so now Hazito is in ahead. Hazito is now ahead of, I think that's Nixo on the outside and Brezzi on the inside, who somehow doesn't get a penalty on the outside here. And that...
he comes out of nowhere, like... Look at that, that angle.
That's an angle, isn't it?
Wow, yeah.
Oh, straight into the sun. What a rejoin that is. What a rejoin that is. Oh, and
another one. Oh.
Okay, so he's involved here. Oh, he gets tagged by Ghost Baby not once but twice, and it sends him off the track a little bit. And then we've got Ghost Baby alongside Hazito and I think that's Brezzi.
That's Brezzi, yeah.
Yeah, that's... I don't even know where to. I don't even know where to start and or finish with any of that. I just want to. I have to do it for the laughs. I just want one more view of this on board with Moreno.
He kept the throttle, like lifted it then again, and yeah. I mean, he would have made the turn if there wasn't a car, but yeah.
Did he end fourth in the end? Did he actually get? No, he
Yeah,
does.
fourth, yeah.
Oh,
because
the penalty,
of
yeah,
penalty,
the penalty.
yeah.
Oh, Manu gets a position. I would not like to be a steward.
It's probably everybody gets a penalty. And
Yeah.
also there goes your clean race bonus, definitely, for that one.
Just take the clean race bonus from all 6 of them, to be honest with you. Be very quick on that one. I think I had lap 10 noted down as well, like all the craziness from lap 8 and then lap 9 as well. So we will, if we have time. I don't know if we have time. I think we have time.
A little
so
bit,
we are
definitely.
Gonna have a look at what has happened here at the front, at the middle of the grid rather, because we obviously saw this was happening. Oh, so we'll go back, get a nice little camera angle on this from, I believe this is Seiko. This was the pit lane spin. For those who were watching throughout the race, so obviously everyone was having a little bit of a wheel bang out front. Oh, I just never really gained control of the car.
Oh.
The only problem is there's 1, there's 2. Oh, it's ghosting. He's got to get away with the fact ghosting is the thing that exists almost wipes out the Nexus driver.
Yellow flag as well showing, but okay. So then we have the in lap 9. That was also crazy.
Yeah, that's the penalty for Ghost Baby. I think that was just picked up half second. I think he got picked up by that. Nope, doesn't look like he did. Somehow avoided that. Then I believe there may have been contact in turn 3 here. Wait and see. It looked like he looked. Oh, that's the contact. And then a little bit more from Moreno in the back, and Nixo, and then we'll have another look at this from a different camera angle then. See if we can get a decent angle of what happened in turn 3, and then we'll run all the way down to the end of lap 9 and see if there was anything else. No, there was lap 10, turn 3 as well. Yeah, it was contact, a little bit of ping pong there between Nixo and Moreno, and I think there's Hazito here in the foreground as well, in the background of your shot. This was when the carnage really started, wasn't it? At the end of lap 8 with that pit lane. And then here in lap 9, and we got the incident down into... Was there anything here? Oh, yes, there was. This was it. This was a little bit more between the group. We'll go Moreno here, because he was the one that ended up being on the outside. If we run out of time for replays, let me know. We go through.
Fine.
I think, yeah, a little bit of contact there from Nixo, and then Moreno, the one on the outside. D3 went 3 wide into the following corner. Zito with the car losing out heavily. Moreno to the inside. Then there was a launch, more contact between these two. They headed into the end of the second sector. And even more contact between the two, but I think that was just a little bit of racing contact between the 3 of them. Moreno dropping into the penalty zone, drops behind these 2, stayed ahead of Brezzi. I think that is in Brezzi. Yeah, a little bit more. Oh, so just about survived.
Close line, but okay.
And then we can go a little bit further on. And we might as well do this 10 second by 10 second, because the next thing that happens, it's this. It's they're coming out the pit lane. We're coming out to, we'll stay on to chase cam here, because you can see Moreno and Nixo are literally inside of each other.
Yeah.
I think that may be the same case out for, a little bit further forward as well, but the other 92 car and the other Elite Racing Squad driver as well. Then did anything happen after this? Then
Yeah,
they
Mado lost
finally.
5 positions. So someone got...
That's what happened. That's what happened. Look at this. Just want to bring your point back. Look what happens after they unghost from each other of Nixo and Moreno here.
See the little bit of contact then happening.
You can see that these two bounce off, and then he just drives straight into the back of the Elite Ways. Yeah, that's just... Well, that's unfortunate. That is entirely on Moreno.
Again, yeah, with the unghosting then happening, you're not expecting that you're driving inside of each other, and yeah, it's crazy. All right, so I think we head you back over to Finlay for preview for race number 4, and then we will be right back with racing action then for the next lobby. So see you in a couple of minutes.
Welcome back to my living room, and we come to the final race of the evening and indeed of the week, where the reigning IGS champions, #1 seeds for the event, and a team with major expectations on their shoulders come into the fore in Freem Esports. But pre-season, their team principal Stefano Conte spoke only of their desire to just qualify for the Golden Rockets and get themselves into a position to fight for the championship title come season's end. But Freem currently sit at P10, 4 positions off of their pre-season goal, and currently fighting to even keep a Silver Rocket spot. They started very strong at Deep Forest Raceway, a 40-point haul with Pepe taking the race win in pole, Juju just behind in P4, but it's gone so far downhill from there. P5 and P9 on genuine pace at Mount Panorama, and then P5 and P8 at Major, but aggregate timing and penalties, meaning only 18 points were picked up from that round. It's been a pretty shambolic title defence thus far. Major improvements are needed, because if you look at the Silver Rockets, there are currently teams like, Elite Racing Squad and Kraken Staines, depending on what you will have seen earlier this evening, that look more likely to push themselves into the Golden Rocket spot than the reigning champions. There is concern there, and who knows, we might not even get a title defence come playoffs, which is ridiculous to think about given how cool, calm and consistent this Freem team usually are. So major concern there. But a driver that doesn't have much in the way of major concern is Mehdi Hafidi, kind of the face of Alien Motorsport, if you will. But there's been a bit of a stereotype around Alien lately that Mehdi's the only noteworthy driver there, that he kind of carries the team. And whilst he has featured in all 3 races this season, the teammates have played their part. Danny finished P5 at Deep Forest Raceway in the first race of the season, as Mehdi came home P7 with a penalty, so his teammate actually finished ahead of the former world champion there. Mount Panorama came and it was a 2-4 finish, very good effort, with Mehdi ahead of Maka, the British driver, and you think P2 and P4 are really solid for a team like Alien, who, aren't necessarily pushing up to the top of the ranking. But it could have been a race win. It could have even been a 1-2. But the 2 drivers, the 2 Alien cars, came to blows on the penultimate lap, potentially costing a fight for the win, as I say, with the 2 Azteca Racing Motorsport cars who they were battling with. So they did have to settle for P2 and P4 when the rewards could have been much more beneficial for them. And then Mehdi came home with another P2 finish at Lego Major, Yoko finishing P9 on debut. A bit of a difficult race for him after he switched from Elite Racing Squad. So they're P9 in the championship thus far. Mehdi has been superb, fair play to him, and there have been notable teammate contributions, but it's just overall consistency. Like, Mehdi's had some bad races, the teammates have had some bad races. They need to start bringing more consistency to the game if they're to challenge for a top split spot come playoffs. One team who I've been banging the drum about for a while and have finally come good, you sense this season, at Thunderlight Sim Racing. They've always been there or thereabouts, but incidents are costing them dearly. Deep Forest Raceway, they finished P6 and P9 with a penalty for Ekin relegating him from a solid P7 position. Alvaro displayed really strong pace at Mount Panorama, coming home P6. He could have been finishing much higher up in my opinion, but Castro had a lap 1 spin, sent into the back of the field, no recovering from there, P12 finish. But Maggior last week was a really strong breakthrough for them. P3 and P4, behind only 2 of the best drivers in the world in Manu Hernández and Mehdi Hafidi, is a strong display of what can happen if you keep your nose clean. Thunderlights have had the pace for them to be fighting for podium spots, but they just keep getting caught up in incidents and kind of shooting themselves in the foot. They still occupy a bronze rocket spot as things stand, but I'd say they're a team you wouldn't be surprised to see in the silver bracket come the end of the season, and I'd be interested to see their progress tonight as we remain in the road cars in the Masters, like like we did last week in the Honda K cars. Customs GT are a team that are operating ahead of expectation at the start of the season. They currently occupy the last Golden Rocket spot. They are P6 in the championship. There was a thrilling battle for the win at the season opener at Deep Forest Raceway with the 2 Owls cars. Ended up being P2 for Charles, who's a driver who runs the pad, which is extremely interesting to see. You don't see it all too often at this level of motorsports. And in that race, Josema finished P4 at the front of that kind of chasing pack from that 3-car battle. Charles was once again on the podium at Mount Panorama and was leading the race right until the very lap where he got passed down the Conrad straight by Nixo and had to settle for P2, and Cadrinos' teammate elevated to P5 after penalties. And then it was only P4 for Charles at Lego Maggiore. He's just beaten to a 3rd podium spot of the season by one of the Avalon cars, who we'll get to, by a matter of tenths. Sigma home in P6. Charles has been phenomenal this season, as we sort of expected. I was hearing from Stefano Conte earlier in the season when he was on comms with us how good Charles is and really banging the drum about him, and he has come good this season. But the thing that set them apart from teams like Alien or Krakensteins is the fact that the teammates have also had a really big contribution, P4, P5, P6, compared to Charles's P2, P3, P4. So if they keep with that consistency, yeah, they can get to the Golden Rockets, and yeah, they can maybe even fight for the title, as much as I should maybe whisper that. Avalon Motorsport has been, a fairly mundane season for them, but last week at Maggiore was phenomenal. P2 and P3. Rodri making his debut for the team in this particular series after he joined from Reds Gaming last season. Just missing out on the race win, fighting with Nikolai Sedziak, the Vanquish driver, right until the very end. Aramando took home P3 ahead of Chaus, the Customs driver, as I say, and the side now seemingly out of nowhere occupy a silver rocket spot after a really poor first 2 races. It's road cars again tonight in the Mazda at the Red Bull Ring. It's another opportunity to play for their strengths and potentially boost their position as they did last week. If they can run as well as they did last week, they could be up there in the Golden Rocket spots, but they can't afford to have a slip like they have done in the first 2 races of the season. But the main thing is the pace is there for Avalon. It's whether they can convert it. Our final team we come to in this race is Control the Time, and it's been a bit of a disappointing start to the season. Yet to breach 11 points in a single round, and they currently sit 21st out of 24 in the standings. They had a high finish of 8th and 9th at the first race of the season at Deep Forest. Bonmar was caught up in plenty incidents at Mount Panorama. That meant he finished 12th with his teammate in 9th. And then 11th and 12th at Maggiore was just saved by Nico, the Hydro Rain Sports driver's 23-second penalty, meaning they came home P10 and P11. There was relatively little expectation for Control Time pre-season, but their improvement is needed as they want to avoid being this sort of filler in what's a really high-quality championship. Control Time, they've done an excellent effort to even get here in the first place, but they need to find another level to prove they belong here, if that makes sense. That's your final race preview for the teams and drivers. I'll hand you back to the commentary test now, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Thank you, Finlay, for that enlightening information against for the teams, and we have already started the outlap for the qualifying session, so just in time. And look at this driver here. E-Racer Valerio Gallo is joining us for the race. Hello.
Oh, okay. Well, this could get interesting. Simfreem have decided that they need to actually push a little bit more for the championship, and have brought in the heavy artillery then.
Definitely, yeah. And Finlay was also talking about Mehdi Hafidi, also it's a race. So for Alien Motorsport, he is. Come on, here he is. So 2 of the big names, definitely.
Gonna go against each other today in this one then.
They will.
This is going to get very interesting very quickly. Alien and Simfreem, 2 of those teams that need to take advantage of, well, the fact that everyone else has had a fairly diabolical week so far. Even though we just saw Kraken technically win the race and Elite Racing Squad with like 1-5 or something. It's still an absolute mess, and I think they're going to get a lot of penalties and a lot of time tacked on, so have to figure themselves out.
Yep. So sure we are repeating ourselves. It's the golden opportunity for some of the teams outside of the top 6 to make some moves today, but we saw that the racing can get hectic, frantic, chaotic. So yeah, definitely an entertaining round for us spectators. And yeah, drivers might be stressed, and yeah, the stewards will be busy afterwards. So everybody got a fair share of this round. That's good.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Albeit, I'm pretty sure the stewards were hoping they wouldn't. But, you know, it's what it is. It's racing. Someone has to be the person that decides how the incidents goes, and they might just want to skip that last race.
Yeah, alright, so let's have a look at the 6 drivers on track for Control the Time. Corte and Honda Racing. Then for but have Navarrito and Adrian Fraga. And for Avalon, Armando and Rodri. I remember those two from last week.
Yep. Those two very familiar pairing by this point, so we'll see how they can do in this situation. Rodri gave a fairly exceptional account for himself last week when he went up against Floris and Mumu. Came third best to them, but at the end of the day, it's not a bad situation to come third best to those two drivers.
Correct, and all the time they will be starting their qualifying run now. So we're okay. That was just about on the edge. Good run, maybe. Out of the
trying to get as much as they can straight away. We'll see how they take turn 1 here. Alcourt, followed by Bonma. Through the turn, they're both safe. I'm pretty sure they're both safe anyway. Alcourt looked a little out of sorts, but they should both be fine in terms of the penalties. So, one corner down, as we found out that turn 3 and the exit of turn 3 can apparently be a penalty haven as well if you're explicitly called Moreno. In that last race, but
good white. Navarrito, was it okay?
The answer is
yes.
Just about. The answer is just about. Doesn't look great for Armando either. Oh, that might not be. That might not be. Oh, is he going to get picked up for it?
It's okay.
He somehow survived that.
Right, back to Control the Time. So
pretty sure that was worse than that in the last lobby that got punished.
Yep.
I got better than that rather, and closer to the line, less worse, whatever you want to turn it as. Either way, he'll get away with it and continue on without having to suffer the half second later on in the lap. Talking about later on in the lap, here we go. Control the Time, 2 corners left to see what the benchmark is going to be. Survived the penalty through turn 9, and then 10 is going to be just about okay for Alcourt, and they both should be able to get over the line, no problems. 47-4 and 47-5. Navarrito and Fraga, the next two to the line. Fraga looks a little bit separated from Navarrito at the moment.
Yep, I was closer at the start of this lap.
I wonder if there has been a little bit of a problem for Fraga in the middle of the lap.
That's right.
It's a problem now as well. It just about kept that valid.
48. That's
he's gonna probably wish it was invalid.
What about Avalon now? It looks good. It could be 1-2.
Should be 1-2. Oh no, it's not. It's not. It's 2-5.
It's close.
Yeah, definitely. We were spot on with 1-2 right there.
All right. So we have the next drivers and
Sim 3 up next. Yep. Right.
Ray and B Racer, 2 drivers for today.
Let's see what Gallo can put up.
Yeah.
That is the first time I've said that.
Yeah. Watch out for this guy.
giant man to watch on top of the screen. It's just Gallo.
Mark our words. Yeah, mark our words. For Alien
Medi
Motorsports,
straight
we have,
after as well.
yeah, Danny and Medi, so they had a well, good combination for Alien Motorsports. So, and then for Custom G, Sigma and Charles, also two the main drivers, I would say, for the team so far.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of teams in this lobby, well, 3 in particular, that are looking to try and take advantage of the bad day for Owls and potentially even worse day for Kraken and for Elite Racing, depending on how all that shakes out. And also potentially a bad one for 92 Racing as well, actually, well, at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, but
Vanquish will take that race, that's a certain.
Yeah, that's correct, but yeah, 92s for they still have a nice little lead already, so they will be still fine inside the top 6, but yeah, not the result they had in mind, definitely. Alright, so let's have a look. So close between Cream Esports drivers. What about Eddie and Danny here? Also, like, striking of each other, and Sigma and Chaz as well. So that's usually what we see in those sessions. So 4/10 maybe between the drivers then on those laps.
It's maintaining that. It's all good getting those gaps and starting the lap like that. It's ending the lap like that. That's the bigger issue. When it comes to these qualifying sessions, you've got to stay as close as you can get while setting the best time. A slipstream would be massively helpful for the car behind.
Let's go to chase cam, because Valerio Gallo is driving in that perspective, so we get like this view what he's actually doing.
I get slandered. I'm not even joking. I get slandered so hard because I also race in chase cam, and I don't understand the hate for chase cam. I've never understood the hate for chase cam. It gives you more of a view of what you're actually doing. But you know, now I can just go, look, that's Gallo. go and have a go at that guy.
yeah, play it. I just feel for myself, it feels a little bit disconnected when you're using a wheel and chase cam. It just feels a bit stiff or whatever.
Sometimes you just need it, especially when you're coming up against if you're coming up against drivers, you know, like a little bit of a wheel bang, for example, a little bit of door to door. You kind of just need the chase cam just to have that field of view, see what's going on behind you, in front of you, left and right. It's I can understand people not liking it, but the slander is too heavy.
Yeah, in the end, it's a game, and there are different perspectives, cameras you can use, and whatever you feel most comfortable with, go for it.
Oh, Gallo looking a little bit slidey on the inside there, so we'll see if that's going to affect the time at all. There's still purple with Frey behind him.
Yeah, but not. Yeah, just around about a high 46 currently.
That's not sector. Setting the world alight though. I was about to say. Well, I say that like the guys that are also doing quick time, they're not on relatively the same pace and are World Series drivers of their own merit.
Yeah, so Frey could stay with him.
That looked a little bit wide for Frey.
46.6.
Just survived it. They both did it.
0.7.
Oh.
What about Medi? 4, 5, 6, 7-0, and Danny with a 46.8.
46.8. Yeah. Simfreem in control right now of this qualifying session. Let's see what Sigma and Charles can do. And it looks
not fast enough, I think.
Yeah, it looked like it's 47s. Yeah, 47-1, 47-2, and it is going to put them 5th and 6th. So we're going 2 by 2 in this section.
It is, yeah. That's correct.
I can imagine if you're Sim3 after the last couple of weeks where your levels of driving and points attained are not very particularly high, that might be a little bit of respite.
Yeah, you definitely like your chances for your Sim 3 for this race starting 1-2. We thought the same in the previous race.
That is true.
And
That is true. Manu didn't drive away as we thought he would.
no, didn't manifest into an easy 1-2 victory at all.
I am intrigued to see if I am intrigued to see if any of these 4 drivers at the front, in particular, or 6 drivers, if you want to continue it down and include their customs, watch the last race. Because if they were watching the last race, I think their strategy changes just a little bit. Given the fact that they saw 2 teams that needed the points go hammer and tongue at each other instead of trying to help each other, and well, it didn't work. In the nicest way humanly possible, it did not work
At all, yeah, and it's while we're waiting, let's have a look at the standings. You can see what's on the line. GT America 6, and have, like with Alien Motorsports and Esports, those 2 teams not too far behind and ahead of them after qualifying. Yeah, it's interesting. Saw in the previous race Krakenstein's GT Racing squad, they couldn't quite capitalize. I think they might still score good points, but will it be enough to get past old Esports? I have no clue now.
you've got to take into account as well the extra points that they do for clean race and that kind of thing. So it's gonna be, you already take those away from Kraken and Elite. You don't even have to debate that one. And you could, as long as they stay clean. This is why I was bringing the point. Maybe the strategy just turns to working together. As long as you stay clean, that's extra points gained.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think with Sim3 Esports and Alien Motorsports, both teams have the same aim to up in the championship order and get clean races, get fast overall finishing times, and yeah, maybe they say yeah, whatever, second, third doesn't really matter that much, so just focus on that clean race.
Yeah, and the clean race as quickly as possible. If they can help each other out, at the end of the day, they could just, if they can get to the final race before we go into these split leagues and be maybe a couple points out, then they can go, screw it, it's time to fight. But you've got to get there first and give yourself the best opportunity to actually be there and get into that top league. So I'd be working together here.
Yeah, exactly. And it's round 4, so after round 7 we have that split then into the Rockets divisions, and we are already starting the race, so we don't have any time to waste today.
Apparently not. Here we go. So Gallo on pole position, Frey in second.
On the hards. Wow, they are starting on the hard tires.
Okay, they're very varied here. There's a few that's starting on the hard with 4 with 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. So things are going to get very interesting. Danny's obviously going to get off to a great start. He's on the soft. More contact on the first. Well, we haven't even hit the first corner yet. We have in the middle of the pack. More contact straight away. Gallo still on the inside and the lead of the race right now. Danny getting a little bit squeezed off the track. Medi in third, also on the soft, trying to get himself involved. Alien and Simfreem, both of them on alternate strategies. And you can understand why the hards have been put on first with the amount of carnage that could potentially be involved in this race. Gallo stays in the lead down towards turn 3. Danny goes a little bit wide, maybe a little bit of wheel banging from the 2 of them. Medi is there as well. Aramado is up in a 4th. Frey also trying to get himself involved. Medi dropped down the 5th. A little bit more carnage as we see a couple of drivers drive straight on through.
That's very interesting to see that strategy. I mean, you were like mentioning starting on the hards might give you a little bit of a cleaner run later on, but on those first 2 laps on hard tires, you will be surrounded by those soft tire runners, and it's not easy to keep it clean. But a B-Racer, of course, like with a great opening lap so far, keeping in the lead on those hard tires. Wow.
I was about to say, I think the bigger issue, here comes Medi to the inside, sorry, just to pick up on, before we pick up on that point, Alcott trying to get himself involved as well, and will get himself involved. The Frey is dropping like a stone down the order at the moment, and he might be under a little bit more fire. Bonmer on the outside, Navarrito on the inside, and I think he's dropped to 8th. Frey has dropped to 8th. They have both gone by. Rodri has got him as well.
So he can't capitalize on those hard tires compared to his teammate. And then he sends it on the inside.
Navarrito's gone wide. Navarrito's gone wide. I'm not entirely sure what caused that, so I'm going to now note that down.
Yeah, but B-Racer staying in the lead.
Half a second penalty for Navarrito.
He's slowing that entire field down. Of course, those
Look at that, Armando looking with a run. The Spanish driver looks for a run to the inside, down at turn 2.
Gets help from Medi, probably, as well.
He's going to get a lot of help from Medi here. They're both on the soft tyres, remember. The Sim3 drivers are on the hard. There are a couple more on the hard as well. We'll get to that in a small bit of time when everyone stops going after each other. And I'm like, Aramando's into the lead.
Yeah, and Medi couldn't capitalize. So, B-Racer with a sensational race on those hard tires on those first 1.5 laps. Wow. So
my point I was going to make earlier on when it came to the strategy is Medi goes to the inside of Gallo and a little bit of contact on the way through. May put Gallo in a bad place now because Alcott is going to the inside and gets it done.
He does, yeah. And now that was to be expected. I think that the guys on the hard tires will be losing a couple of positions, but yeah, still.
Might be adding another one to it. Danny to the inside, Dan Bonmer as well. A little bit more contact between the two, but Bonmer's gone through. And Bonmer is up in a 5th, and Rodri actually may have just given Gallo a little bit of help here. Half a second penalty for Medi in 2nd.
And Gallo staying in P5. Still, so that little bump definitely helped him. Yeah, very different dynamic to this race with the mixed tire strategies happening. And we also see that Armando could break free, maybe Medi, with that half-second penalty. So,
it's interesting because what they're doing it for, the ones on the hards early, the ones on the hards early are trying to get better runs and better tires from the softs at the end. Obviously going for an undercut as well, so the undercut we were talking about in the first race will come to fruition in this one. The real question is, can they keep it close enough for it to matter?
Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 2 wide, 3 wide into turn 3.
Hallow had the half-second penalty as well.
On top, yeah. And down to P8 now, inside for Navarrito. I think he has the better track position for now.
It is the custom drivers, the other drivers on the hard tires, by the way. Custom GT.
Yeah, we haven't seen them, but but they are cruising at the back currently, Charles and Sigma, but close to Frey still. So it's just B-Racer who could like disturb the soft tire runners a little bit on those first 2 laps.
Bomber's got a half-second penalty, so Gallo in the middle of the pack here. So we'll see a little bit more of a shift here in the order. Fraga's going to have a go at Gallo as well.
Yeah. Medi losing that position to Alcorte.
That is true. Yep, forgot about Medi's penalty for a split second then. The penalty's cropping up left, right and centre at the moment.
He's united with his teammate now, so that's a bit of a silver lining. Now 3 and 4, they can work together. So all the other drivers don't have their teammates with them in that top group, so it could be an advantage.
It could be. We've seen Sim3 and Customs GT now dropped straight to the back, so they are 2x2 at the back. Bomber dropped to 7th with his half-second penalty. Fraga is in behind him. And then at the front, there is a split between 4th and 5th, and that currently sits at about 2.5 seconds. So that's where the interesting scenario, the interesting dynamic now lies in this race, is how much is too much.
Yeah, I think now you have to really settle in and work together, and we touched upon that in the previous round. So also work together with your opponent, at least for a couple of minutes. So
The interesting scenario, and I just want to, sorry for interrupting you here, but the interesting scenario is that, as we were told by Flores in the last race, that gap, that delta, and this is why this is probably more relevant, we know that now, is about 4 seconds. What they've done with the hards here is eliminate a lap or two of that 4-second delta.
yeah, it's 8.6 running on lap 4, so that's probably a lap gained. That's
Realistically,
strategy.
easily a lap gain, because if it's 4 seconds a lap, realistically the gap Gallo is back from the lead is maybe a 2-lap gap, maybe in terms of the delta, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, 1.5. So let's find the middle ground. But yeah, still probably an interesting move. Let's really wait and see. So can they then, for that final stint when they're on the soft tire compounds, can they make the moves then, get past the hard tire runners at that stage? So
as we saw, overtaking wasn't particularly difficult in the first race,
especially if you,
it was
if you want to keep it clean. Yeah, that's that was one of our key points, to get a clean race, right? So how much then are you willing to risk?
Frog has got a 0.5-second penalty in 8th. That'll drag him a little bit further, a little bit closer again.
Yeah, so let's have a look at B Racer. That's 10.8 seconds now on lap 5, so that's okay. He's back with his teammate though. Close that gap, and they have 1.6, 1.7 seconds to the custom drivers, Charles and Sigma, in P11 and P12. So remember those 4 drivers at the back there on the hard tires, and they might, I don't know, hitting end of lap 6, lap 7, something like that.
I reckon it'll be the end of next lap. If I was placing bets. The other interesting point to make about this is that those 4 drivers are going to have clean air the entire rest of the way until they have to make an overtake on one of these drivers eventually. So they're just going to be able to knock out lap times. They're not going to be impeded. So it's just going to be a case of who can put the best time down at the. I think, look, the lap time at the front, 48.3 on a half 1 soft, compared to what was done by 51.0. So that's only a 3-second gap in the delta. What should be a 4-second gap in the delta. So they are making these hard tires work fairly effectively right now.
That's true, and also with that, when they're having a little bit of a clean air running, so they don't have to really focus on fighting. They can focus on their consistent fast lap times. So this could be interesting strategy they have come up with, and don't be surprised to see those 4 drivers running 1, 2, 3, 4 by the end of this race.
It's certainly, they're going to have the better opportunity. They're going to have an opportunity to make some of these overtakes, and the tire delta is going to be in their favor as well. It's going to be a fairly interesting situation that they will find themselves in. Again, Aramando's just heavily into the 48s here, the fastest lap of the race so far, 47.5. No one's really putting any substantive marker down. So the longer they don't put a substantive marker down, the easier it gets for Sim Freeman and Customs at the back of the field at the moment.
Exactly.
You see, they go around again. Armando to the line. Let's see how close to a 48 this is. Look, 48.8.
Yeah, that's mid to high 48s now. That's.
Bear in mind, all of them are in that Danny the quickest of the 4 on a 48.4, but he is stuck behind 3 other drivers. So as soon as he catches up properly to this, it's going to be back to the 48.8 for you, I guess.
It is. So, but this looks still now very calm now. They're not fighting. They're not picking up penalties. So, yeah, it's still not guaranteed that, especially Symphony Esports, will jump them. But as Chad mentioned, so they are in a really good position still. And we might see them now heading in for a pit stop. Let's see, it's the end of...
no, they didn't go last time. One of them did. Chow did. He was the only one.
Oh, yeah, I see that. So, that's also interesting.
So now he's split.
Yeah, split team, yeah.
What are you going to gain from that, realistically? Because you need to work together here. The situation calls for teamwork, not for trying to experiment, which is the only way I can think of it.
This is the typical undercut, like you're pitting earlier and go on to the faster tire compound a lap earlier. So you will close the gap maybe then to the Sim3 Esports drivers with that move. You might suffer then on the final lap, but still, this is maybe part of their thinking. But I would have probably just stick with my teammate.
I was about to say, the problem is the only person close enough to undercut here is his own teammate.
Yeah.
So I personally think this is selling your teammate up the river here. I don't think that was a good choice.
So Gallo and Frey, they're in now.
I assume Sigma's coming as well. Yeah, Sigma is.
Onto the grass should be okay, and then let's wait for Marchell. So he had definitely a clean track. And he is using the soft tires. Should be able to gain 3 to 4 seconds on that lap, and the gap between Charles and the two Sim3 Esports drivers was 3 to 3 seconds. So we'll see if that undercut will work.
I would like to point out the last lap for the guys at the front. The fastest lap was a 49.3. Or 49.2 rather. 49.285 from Armando. That's not remotely good enough to beat a hard tire right now.
Now Charles onto braking zone for turn 1, and we see the cars leaving pit lane, and he just probably gets in front of them, so that undercut might have worked just for now. He's working together with the two drivers, leaving his teammate dying.
I was about to say that he didn't really have much of a choice there. The problem is he's absolutely sold his teammate off the river. This did not work for his teammate. He's got the undercut, but again, as I said on the last lap, the only problem is the only undercut he got is on his teammate. It's a choice. He got himself involved with the Sim3 drivers, so I guess it's about keeping that tire alive. Otherwise, he's in trouble.
That's correct, yeah. And then we also have to wait then for our lead group to pit. We see P8, one racing is in now, and I think the top 4 they will be pitting this lap.
I feel like that's a bit early now at the end of lap 8. It doesn't matter because his tires ain't going another one. Just have a look at that. They definitely ain't going another one. That is... Ouch. That's heavy tire wear. Also, I just want to point out the tire wear on the lead car right now.
Yeah, he's under pressure. And he's losing that position.
Lead car. Our Court's got to the lead. Control the time, seeing the lead of the race for a very rare appearance at the front. We'll see if they can continue that. But the problem is that they've done so much damage. Again, 49.6 on the last lap. They've done so much damage to each other, these front 4, that the gap that you will have out front, it's going to be shortened quite heavily here. Frey and Gallo are apparently fighting each other as Gallo nearly took the grass to avoid his own teammate. and Gallo has been let back in front. I assume that was just team orders executed fairly poorly.
Probably, but it was like 6/10 purple, and he will be looking at a 46 in race pace. So that's a big difference compared to those 49s we've seen. And look at the drivers having troubles going into pit lane sideways all the way with dead tires. So now,
they're all in now. Oh my god, look at the fuel between these drivers. Alcott's got half the fuel of Medi.
yeah, that fuel difference is crazy. So ALN will definitely.
But look at Fracas, it's even worse.
Yeah.
The fuel saving versus no fuel saving, apparently. Alcott and Fraga are in trouble. And probably Navarrete by default as well.
So we also see one more racing for Control the Time, who pitted earlier, has still 8 seconds. Then 2 Racer and Frey in 9 and P10. They're gaining, yes. And there's 3 cars. Then
just casually gaining.
So
I'd like to point out.
Armando is out. Eddie is out.
That gap is already 6.5 seconds.
Yeah, and it's boasting already, but how? Armando with a massive fuel undercut compared to Maddie.
Oh, that's just gonna get interesting.
Oh,
Alcott
yeah.
and Danny side by side. Danny with the inside line. Alcott sliding his way through the corner. Rodri's somehow here. Bomber's ahead of Navarrete now as well. So he's gained the position, but you can tell that the cars are about to start getting hunted down.
I'm so confused that fuel advantage didn't materialize for Alien Motorsport at all.
Armando was on 29 when he came in. That's why.
Okay, he was also.
So he matched Alien in terms of the fuel, but then also put in a significant amount less. If you look at the amount they put in, I question whether or not they've underfueled.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
You see, he's already half fuel compared to Medi. Looking back, and he's on 60%, or just there or thereabouts.
B-Racer, Frey and Charles, they are pushing. They're on the soft tires now. They have closed that gap.
Oh no.
A 46.4 for B-Racer. That's the fastest lap we've seen so far.
All of a sudden, I think we should start playing the Jaws music. I think that might be the most appropriate, because Bomber and Navarrete are fighting here. All it takes is one good run, and Gallo is about to rip them apart. Just like this. I think he's about to he might launch this into turn 1, if he even needs to launch something into turn 1 here. He has got the inside line. He's ahead of them both. He's ahead of them both.
His teammate as well, looking down the inside, gets 2 for 1. Nice overtake. Well, soft tires definitely show their advantage. And interesting also, the gap, just 9 seconds with 4.5 laps to go. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's looking all the signs are pointing towards SimFrame right now. Yeah. You want to know what's even better for SimFrame? They cut themselves loose from Charles.
Yeah, he's
also
stuck in traffic a little bit.
I say that as Charles looks for multiple place overtake there. Bomber and Navarrete.
Still, the second is gone for him. So
yeah, he's outside the slipstream. You're right. Charles again to the inside.
Has to
goes
fight.
for the move. Finally has the move done on Navarrete, but it's done the damage that SimFrame were hoping it was going to do.
It is, yeah. So also at the front.
The gap is now 7.1 seconds, by the way. The gap is now come down 2
melting,
seconds since you saw it.
And also a gap between P2 and P3 now.
Oh yeah, massive advantage now from thing. But the problem, you can see 6th and 7th are just barreling down on these 3. I'd be very, very surprised if there's not at least a podium here for SimFrame. I would be very surprised if they don't win the entire thing.
And they're in the lead. Come on.
Yeah, that's it. It's now 5 seconds. The advantage to the lead is now 5 seconds.
Yeah, 47 still versus
47.3.
Yeah.
Wow. they might be on the front of the pack at the end of the lap.
Close, at least, within slipstream range starting the next lap, and then the tires should be still in a fairly good shape for those soft runners. So yeah, will get interesting now, and hopefully they can manage it to make it clean somewhat.
Yeah, that's the difficulty when you've got 3 drivers in front of you that you have to clear before you can get to Armando and Mehdi, who's now in the lead of the race. So Mehdi's getting himself sorted and taking care of the Avalon driver very early on. The problem is you can probably start the Jaws music again. Here we go, come onto the inside, and he just blitzes his way past Rodri without like he was not even there. And that's one of the 3 down. I would feel very, very concerned right now if I was Danny and or Alcott in fourth and 3rd, respectively, when you've got the Italian barreling down on you right now. Here we go again. Here we go again. To the outside. He's going to go for it again. Danny's got no answer at all.
Nope. Can't fight it.
There's no way you could possibly fight it. It's half one meat, half one soft. He's got it again!
Jumping over the inside curb, keeping it within the track limits. P3, and he might even get P2 before turn number 1. He has a massive run, 2/10. I think he could play it safe. No, he's sending it. He's not wasting any time.
Down into turn 1, and Gallo had another one.
Yeah,
Gallo had another one.
Look at the difference. His teammate Frey is struggling a little bit with those
Armando's got a second penalty.
And
Armando's got a second penalty, and Frey might not be about to struggle for much longer. To the inside on a double. He's going to go for 2. Frey on Armando and Danny. He gets Armando. I think he may have got a little bit of a side pod for Danny on the way through.
And gets the run. P3 still possible before the braking into turn 4 downhill.
It would have to be one hell of a send to do that. He's going to try it.
He will do it.
He's absolutely going to try it. He gets it stopped. He gets the position as well.
And B-Racer challenges Maddie for the lead down the inside for turn 5. And just like that, B-Racer is in the lead. Maddie P2, Frey P3. Don't think Maddie can defend that position from Frey for that much longer. So it looks
this
like
was
brilliant strategy.
Potentially too easy. That man just overtook eight separate drivers. Like, they literally were not there.
Yeah. I was thinking the same, Mr. Rabbit. It looked like they were racing like the Gran Turismo AI. Like the yellow... What?
I mean,
move.
I thought I was making a point earlier about the fact that they will have soft tires. They'll be better soft tires as well, given the fact that they'll have left seal in the car. I did not expect that to be quite that easy. Here comes Charles. Here comes Charles to try and snatch a couple of places as well. So Charles on the soft is up into 4th. His soft's a little bit worse for wear than the Sim 3 drivers, but
and
again...
on the inside against Mehdi, you will get that P2.
Mehdi's landing on the podium here.
He might be able to defend that to Charles. It's 2 seconds.
Still an advantage on the tire as well.
Yeah.
And there goes half of that 2 seconds. One corner. That's it. That's all it took.
Yeah.
Took an entire 6/10 of a second out in one turn. Ouch. How do you defend against that?
It's 1.2 still, so Mehdi trying everything, and he might be able to make that.
There's still an entire lap.
Very wide on that final lap.
There is still an entire lap, and it's now within a second. I think he's going to struggle quite heavily. His best hope is that the tires die. That's about as good of a hope as he's got. Don't forget, Charles was the one that came in a lap early as well, so his tires are still somehow surviving. well enough, and Medi is in trouble. He's not even going to get to the final lap. Child to the inside. Going to go for it now. Into turn 9. Gets it. Up in the third. The podium is going to be snatched away from Alien Motorsports. But quite frankly, the better strategy is going to win on the day.
It is, so also look out for Sigma, Charles' teammate for Customs GT6, so he's in that fight. He might get that, at least that P5.
It's interesting because he's not looking as confident on the overtakes as the other three have been.
Yeah, that's correct.
Because obviously we saw Gallo, Frey, and Child just carve people up whenever they got the chance. Sigma's not doing the same.
Oh, he's fighting with Danny for that position. P6 and cannot really attack Alcorte. P5 and now gets that.
He can.
Done.
Oh,
and
he
has
absolutely
a massive
can. He absolutely can. There we go. And he's going to send it here. He's going to send it, surely, right to the inside of turn 4.
And here we go.
Yeah. There you go.
Inside. Can he get it stopped?
Don't stop that. You just cannot stop that. It's just indefensible. You just cannot. You know it's coming, but the tire delta is so absolutely gigantic that there is no way of stopping that move.
It is. So Charles, 1.1, 1.2 seconds on their tires. He should be able to survive that. And let's go back to
the lead
racer.
Of the race.
What a race it was. So I think Key was definitely the first 1.5 laps where he was still leading that race on the hard tires. So that gave him the advantage. And he came back, returned to the series, and we heard it on the chat, return of the king. Welcome back, and what a way for the return. 1-2 for Sim3 Esports, then Customs GT with Charles in P3, Medi for Alien Motorsports P4, Sigma P5, Alcorte lost that position, and Dani couldn't quite get that for Alan. Then we have the two Avalon drivers, Rodri and Aramando P9, Thunderlights, Navarrito, and the second control in the time, Bonner Racing and Gian Fraga for TLS in P12. Right.
Surprisingly, not a lot to go through in that that second race. That was just a strategy clinic in the best way possible. That was just very one-sided.
It is. So
at the end of the day,
overall race time a tiny bit quicker than the best time we've seen yesterday. So yesterday, according to my notes, it was let me fact check that, a 2804.9, 28.04.1. So, but with that 1-2, that should put Sports team in a very good position.
I was about to say, we took it. We took it right at the beginning of this race. We said that the other teams did not take advantage of Owl's bad day. That's one team that definitely did.
Yep.
One team that got it spot on.
Yeah, also Customs GT and 5 in this race, so they, with the other teams struggling a little bit, they could stay in that top 6. I think Alien Motorsports with P4 and P7 and the race time might get a little bit closer to the top 6, but probably not inside that one, but definitely Dream Esports with a big jump. If it, of course, the results stay like that, then after all the incidents and bonus points be right to that one. But yeah, and in chat, Conte was like, we are so back. So the team manager for SFE was like very happy. So probably the race they needed to get back into attention for that spot in the top 6 to come Golden Rockets later on.
Yeah, that race today from Sim 3 was more what I know of from Sim 3 rather than what we saw last week and the week before that as well with Mbappe, it was more back to what they should be for that team. Realistically, if they are wanting to get into the top 6, this is the race they needed, and they needed it at the perfect time as well.
Yeah. Definitely. So yeah, but a very different race to the first race of the evening.
Yeah, that's an understatement. That is quite the understatement, if I do say so myself. Yeah, there's two extremely different dynamics, completely dictated by the difference in strategies, and apparently being able to not hit someone in the back. That's also true.
Yep. Right, so shall we
only...
have a little look at the replay, or do you
I mean,
think
there
there's
was one
something worth
thing that I
noting?
remember. I've got the share screen's already up, but I think there was only one thing to even take a look at, and then the rest of it is just here's a Gallo overtake. I mean, we can't watch that back. We just spent 20, 30 minutes just sit here watching Gallo overtake 8 people. So that is entirely up to you. But this is the one thing I wanted to point out. We'll watch this on the back with Frey. To start with. So this was in lap 1. This was heading toward the final couple of corners. It was with Navarrito and Bomb, I believe. Navarrito ended up wide off the track with a half-second penalty, but we're just going to figure out why that happened here. So that's Rodri in the Avalon car in front. It looked like it might be Rodri that may have caused that. Let's have a look. Let's go on to Rodri and figure it out properly here. See if we can get a good view of what actually happened. See if he drove through. Potentially drove through the... Yeah, it looked like he did.
Contact,
It looked like he did, yeah. And that was obviously what got Navarrito a half-second penalty. You're about to see that flag up there. I can't imagine he's going to be too happy with that.
Probably not.
Apart from that, a little bit of carnage happening out front here. We'll just see how Armando got a hold of everything. But yeah, apart from that, it's just it's Gallo's overtaken. If we want to go and have a look through that, that's perfectly fine with me. You know, the Alien Motorsport on the outside. Maybe a little bit of contact there with Armando pushing. I think that might have been Danny a little bit wide.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Gallo defending that position like everything he had, and then there was the bump draft from Medi.
Gets a little bit of help, doesn't he? Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
He's gonna go for it here. He is gonna go for it here. Gallo gives him more than enough space. Another bit of contact from Medi, and that will do it. That will definitely do it. Made Armando's life a little bit easier there, didn't he?
Yeah, you don't think that he will complain about that bump.
No. Here we go, Medi. Into the inside, maybe.
This is where Gallo is losing a couple of positions now. He got a little out of shape. And still, I think it's so crucial for the strategy. You know, could stay in front for the entire opening lap.
Yeah, absolutely was. The situation. Oh, that was just driving through a driver. From Bonner there. But yeah, that situation where he kept himself in front early, kept the damage down, and I think that's what the numbers, whoever did the numbers for Sim 3 before the beginning of the race, nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Yep. So yeah, and I think I've got the message. The results with the overall finishing times are updated. So let's have a look at those. I think. And let's see. So Freem Esports with best overall finishing time, Vanquish Esports second, and Visceral Esports 3. So the big names up there. It's Tekka Racing's also yeah, showing that they will be fighting for the top 6 spots. Customs GT5 and 92 Esports P6 for this round. And then where are the other teams? So we don't see the old esports team on that first page. So Racing Squad, Brackenstains, Alien Motorsports, they will gain a little bit based on them. Have a quick look at the second page, and we see Pulse Esports in 24, so they had a shocker for 0 points for this round. 0.
That'll jump Simfream above them.
Yeah.
That jumps Simfream right above Owl straight away because there was 11 going in. It's now 4 in the opposite direction before any added points get tacked on. That is not a good round for Owls.
Well, that's so it will get interesting then for this maybe spots P5, P6. That's very intriguing to watch for those remaining 3 rounds of the group stage. Yeah,
Absolutely, it's going to be a hammer and tongs from those teams fighting for 5th, 6th, and 5th and 6th place because there's 2 spots for about 5 or 6 different teams, and not everyone can get it. Not everyone can get it.
At all, and
someone's going to miss out.
That's always the case. So round of 10. So just bring up this little graphic. So it looks like we're going to Croatia to Track and Trail. It's like a Porsche, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, that looked like a Porsche to me.
Yeah. So and it's the Gardens
Porsche Cup in
layout here.
Porsche Cup in in Croatia, right? Well, that's going to be a fun one.
Hopefully, yeah.
To see whether or not people are going to master that triple right-hander. That's going to be the big point in the Gardens track layout. If you can get that just before the final sector, those 3 corners back to back to back, the 90-degree right, so you can get those right, and your lap time can be helped massively. So it's going to be something for everyone to consider, and just probably be nailing out laps, trying to figure that line out.
It is, and yeah, and then after that, so round 6 and 7, Spain. Yes, Marina, probably for round number 7.
Yeah,
so,
yep, that is definitely where we're going for that one.
Yeah, looks like to be a fine, crazy final stretch, as mentioned in chat. Definitely, it's still not everything is decided, so plenty of points to earn still. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, of course. Hit that notification bell, also leave a like. Helps us out massively. And yeah, we will be definitely back then for the next round here with national commentary. I haven't quite the commentary schedule up for you, but pretty sure we might see Shomas, Pierre, myself, maybe again. Arrow, you will probably also joining us, helping us.
Yeah, the second race set, I think, is probably where I'm going to end up being the Tuesday or the Wednesday, if that's the case. Yeah.
So yeah, watch out then for those stream announcements, and I guess can wrap up then round number 4. Yeah, 2 very different races. Great strategy call in that 4th race, and yeah, that crazy finish, race number 3, final lap, things happening. So many of things probably then to discuss afterwards.
Yeah.
And it might take a little longer maybe to get the final results out this time. So wouldn't be
I don't envy,
surprised.
I don't envy the staff on that one. I don't envy the staff on that.
No, definitely. All right, then gonna end here. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Pyro, for your commentary.
No problem. No problem.
And then, yeah, for round number 5. Bye bye.